Hello Jeremy, this is your video on the basic operations of your lightsaber. So this is going to be how it comes. It's going to come in a large box. It'll come with your blade. I have it packed up already. It also comes with a charger where you can charge your battery. I'm also going to be including the battery. So basically in the big box it's going to have this box and then the charger box and then the blade. And in here we have your lightsaber. There you go. We'll have your battery. You may need to charge it once it arrives, but since I'm giving you the charger, that's not going to be an issue. And then it's going to have these screws. So these screws you can use to secure your chassis even more if the tight fit doesn't work anymore, if it, just starts sliding more than it should. It's not a sliding chassis, it's a very tight fit. So as you can see in here, it's not just going to come out. You have to pull really, really hard to get it to come out. But if it ever gets loose throughout the years or whatever, you can always just use these screws. Basically, if you want access to that area, you need to unstick this, because this is a big metal sticker, essentially. It's a metal plate with some adhesive at the back. And then if you just take off the plate, underneath you have this black plastic and you have a screw here. You just unscrew it, take the box off, and then this clamp section comes off, and then you'll see the buttons, and then you'll see some holes where these tiny screws will go on the sides. So if you ever need to, you can just screw those in, tighten the chassis in place, and then you won't have any issues. But I don't think you'll ever really need to do that because it's a very tight fit. If you do need to take it out, all you need to do is pull, and then it'll pop out, and then you just need to align the buttons when you put it back in. So I'll just go over the lightsaber and how to turn it on. As you could see, all you have to do is unscrew the bottom, and then out pops the chassis. On the side of the chassis, I have in Orabesh, or however you say it, this is just the name of the lightsaber. So this is the ROTS Flex V2, and then this side just has like Avery's Workshop, just so people know where this came from. So it looks pretty nice, adds a little bit of detail to it. Then you've got your speaker here. This is a 28mm bass speaker. You've got your OLED display. This one's blue. It looks very nice when it's on. And then the negative and the positive. Your board is going to be sitting underneath back here, as you can see. You won't ever really need access to it because all you need is a phone with Bluetooth in it. And then you can just access the settings and the SD card wirelessly on your computer that way, which is really, really nice. But if you ever do need access to the board, all you have to do is pull the chassis out and then pop the board up a little bit, and you have the SD card and the micro SD port, but you will never need that. So to start, I guess we will just put in the battery. The negative is on the spring, the positive is towards the speaker. And then you have the OLED display. I have it starting on this one because I think it's the most active and interesting. And then you just press the auxiliary, because these are the buttons right here. This one's auxiliary, this side is power. So just tap it and it'll scroll through the different preset animations. And then there's also a sleep mode. This is the power level indicator. As you can see, it's basically completely charged, and it'll also show up on the blade. And then you have the name of the sound font, some more information, and this is a cool crystal. Then we're back to where we started. And then if we turn it on, there you go. And you can change all of this in the settings. I'm gonna put in the description of the video all the different ways and resources that you need in order to update the config or the SD card and basically adjust all of the settings yourself. So just look in the description if you have any questions. I'm also gonna be putting additional information, things to keep in mind. So that's all in the description. And if you need any more information, just let me know. Either reference this video, the description, or just message me. So here is your blade retention screw. You just unscrew this. There you go. Blade plug will slide right out. Very nice blade plug. I'll put these off to the side. And then we have blade detection. So blade detection can be a bit finicky sometimes, but just be gentle when you put it in and try not to make it disconnect. And then you tighten it. There you go. And then you just tap that to turn it on. Tap it to turn it off. Pretty easy, straightforward. Sorry that the blade's a little bit washed out. We've got some light coming in here. Then you just tap the auxiliary for the glass reflections. Hold it for the blade lockup, which adjusts in location depending on the angle of your blade. And then I also added tip drag to each one of your sound fonts. And you trigger it by holding the auxiliary button and then clashing within a certain time frame at like a 45-degree angle. Sometimes it's hard to trigger, but there we go. See? I think it's a slight downward thrust too. I don't really know the precise. Yeah, it's a slight downward thrust at a like 75-degree angle. And you gotta get it just right in order to trigger it, but you have it. There you go. I set it up for all of the blade, the fonts and stuff. And you can change colors by pressing the activation and auxiliary at the same time. It goes into spectrum mode, and then all you have to do is turn. Then you have all the different colors. I will leave it on something like this, I guess. And then to accept it, all you have to do is hold down the button and it goes into blade profiles. And then you scroll through the different animations that I have set up here. There you go. All sorts of different animations. I have about 30 of them. And then you just tap it to accept it. And there you go. You can also scroll through the fonts by, when it's off, you hold down the activation button and you clash. And then it goes forward. I have about 30 different fonts here for you. You can also double tap the music and turn it off.
Purple.
There we go, it goes forward again. And then if you want to access the sound font menu in an easier way, you just hold down the auxiliary button.
Sound bank selection.
There's a sound bank selection, and with the way I have it set up with blade detection, it automatically goes to the first font in the list. So it'll start with that.
Green.
You go forward by pressing
Purple.
auxiliary.
Red. White. Yellow.
And then you go backwards with
Red.
the activation.
Purple.
You can skip forward 5 by pressing both at the same time.
Nebula.
SD card system min SD audio.
H. This is General.
This one's always a fun one. There you go, rainbow blade. But yeah, I have 30 different fonts, blade styles, etc. on here. You can mess around with. You can also change on your own through the Bluetooth app. And I will show you the Bluetooth next, because that'll be important to know in order to edit all of your stuff.
Green.
There you go, back to normal. And I'll be right back with the Bluetooth. Okay, so there's going to be 2 different apps you should know about for Bluetooth. I'm going to put them both in the description, but the first one is ForceSync, and this one is a more basic version. And then it'll always pop up where it asks you. You'll see a FSC BT909 LE, and it'll ask you for the password. It only asks you that for the first time for the device, but after that, it recognizes it and won't ask you anymore. So you put 6 zeros as the password, 0000000. Then you pair, then you click CrystalFX or CFX, and then you have the controls here. But the one that you definitely need to know is CrystalFX. Sometimes when you first try and scan for the Bluetooth on the CrystalFX, it won't show up. So you're going to want to have both Bluetooth apps, ForceFX, and CrystalFX. ForceFX first so that you can find the Bluetooth, and then you just have to close it, and then you move on to the CrystalFX, and then it should pop up as FSC BT909LE. You connect it, and there you go. So then you just have this entire list of things that you can do on it. Remote control is pretty simple. You can go power on, power off, font switching. You can switch blade styles, colors, etc. You also have your command center, which is very important. You can look at the CrystalFocus manual to look at all the different serial commands you can put in here. That'll be important for running diagnostics or setting up certain parameters and such. And then you've got, let me turn this off for a second. You can adjust blade profiles, colors. You can go on the blade style website via the app, and then it can upload something from the library online onto your lightsaber here, which is pretty awesome. So you don't even need it set up in your thing. You can just download it from the internet and then plop it onto your SD card via the phone or the app on the computer. You can also set up your fonts and how they act. You can go through the main configuration, which is super easy. You can update the firmware. I have it updated already. So yeah, you pretty much have everything you need here, and online it's even better. So I don't think you'll ever need to have access to your soundboard. And you can just look this up, go to crystalfocus.net in order to look at all of the different things that you can do and to learn a little bit more about the CrystalFocus and the blade style libraries or the blade profile libraries and how to make your own stuff. All of that will be in the description of my video, so you can reference those if you want to edit any of this. And I believe that's pretty much everything I should let you know. I guess I'll just show you, it does go to sleep sometimes. After a while it'll go to sleep, and if you have the palm will open and you can look at the OLED screen, it'll have R2D2 or something, or some kind of screensaver. That's pretty cool. But I do have gesture controls. It's just twist on and twist off, because those are the ones I like the best. So you have that set up. You can also adjust, you can adjust so many things with the Bluetooth, so I highly recommend looking up everything you can do on the crystalfocus.net website. And that's pretty much everything you need to keep in mind. That's the disconnect sound, so now it'll go back to the calibrate font. There you go. And to turn off the lightsaber, you just open it up and take the battery out. Easy peasy. So if anything goes wrong with the lightsaber, like if it freezes or if it doesn't work, that means it just like glitched out. Sometimes it happens. All you have to do is remove the battery, put it back in, and it's fixed like immediately, which is pretty great. But you'll be able to tell if it's ever frozen because the animation will freeze. That just happens if you do like too many complicated things at once, like turn it on while you do blade detection while other things are happening. Sometimes it just freaks out, but it doesn't happen too often, so I don't think you'll need to worry. Just be careful with how you handle the lightsaber. If you handle it like I've shown you in this video, you will be perfectly fine. So I will be sending this to you today. I'm gonna polish it off a little bit to get some of the fingerprints off, but I'll be sending this to you today. Hopefully you get it soon, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, just let me know or reference this video in the description. So, may the Force be with you.